I don't mind being right, even when we got in wrong. I kinda like making it up as we go. And ever since the second grade when you first caught my eye, I knew you were different in all the ways I like. I won't hide that I'm right, even when we got it wrong. But why you keep playing without the same man? This subtle little light, the coming ground is shaking in your eye. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. You and I, we were right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I love you like you, and you love me like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I love you like you, and you love me like me. On the same sides, and that's what makes it right. For every time that you think it's gone too far, come along, yeah. And I know that it's only just begun. If you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of the things we've arrived, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. And I said, hey, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. You and I, we were right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I love you like you, and you love me like me. We agree, and that's what makes it right. I love you like you, and you love me like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. That's what makes it right. That's what makes it right.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it. Now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it.
Head back with all the one way, trying to stop from running, but you can't.
we're timeless, sailing through, but tonight, no, we can't go far. And I know it cannot last, but at last I can finally breathe. And I know it cannot last, but at last I can finally see.
Pray for you. I try to pray for you. I try to pray for you, for you, for you. I try to pray for you. You know I try to pray for you. Even when we're touching, you always make a fuss. Okay, I'm patient. Don't test my patience. I'm trying to pace it. You kept me waiting. I try to pray for you. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot wait 'cause you test my patience. I try to pray for you. For you. For you. I try to pray for you. For you. For you. I try to pray for you. Try to pray for you. I try to pray for you. For you. For you. I try to pray for you. For you. to pray for you.
Battling emptiness, I try to get over this, but the weight pulls me down. I settle in every fear, suddenly left me here, in pieces on the ground. I can see a reason to try to fight for meaning, but you give me reason to know I still have meaning. I'm not gonna fall for gravity, 'cause you lift me up when I can't feel. I'm not gonna fall for gravity. Hearing all the wasted breath, struggle with every step, and I cannot get away. But you were such a paradise, standing up a mile high. Oh, you fall to give me strength. I can see a reason to try to fight for meaning, but you give me reason to know I still have meaning. I can feel you reaching through all the hard resistance. I know that you're with me. You've always got me through this. I'm not gonna fall for gravity, 'cause you lift me up when I can't feel. I'm not gonna fall for gravity, 'cause the world will doubt, try to bring you down, but your love is real. I can see a reason to try to fight for meaning, but you give me reason to know I still have meaning. I'm not gonna fall for gravity. do good in all the ways I like. I won't hide, none of mine, even when we got it wrong. Why you keep playing? We're not the same man. This suddenly lit light, the coming ground is shaking in your eyes. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. You and I, you're right. I said, baby, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I love you like you, you love me like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. All missing sides, and that's what makes it right. Or every time that you think it's gone too far, we come along, and I know that it's only just begun. If you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of all the things we've climbed, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. No, and I said, hey, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. You and I, you're right. I said, baby, we don't need to leave all the differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, nothing like you, like me, nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. All missing sides, and that's what makes it right. That's what makes it right. That's what makes it right.
I can show you what love's supposed to feel like. I can show you what love's supposed to be. I can show you what love's supposed to feel like. I can show you, yeah. I can show you, yeah.
searching, always wanted more. Can you hear me? Do you believe that I'm a lonely soul? I've been searching, always wanted more. Can you hear me? Taking a hold of me. Love wasn't meant to be. Love wasn't meant to be an enemy. Take all my energy. Do you believe me that I'm a lonely soul? Would you love me? I've been searching, always wanted more. Can you hear me? Do you believe? your body lead your mind. Can't deny, 'cause it was written in the sky. All night, all night, let your body lead your mind. Can't deny, 'cause it was written in the sky. Blue, the feeling behind my eyes. You stood out 'cause you were in red. Then, against my intentions, I let you turn me violet instead. Summer high, met you in August. New York, back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you. White out skies, middle November. You and I, flights to wherever. I don't mind, as long as it's with you. As long as it's with you. The festival that we met at, where you were just a face in a crowd. And now I can't imagine me with anybody else. As we close out the night underneath the lilac sky. Summer high, met you in August. New York, back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you. White out skies, middle November. You and I, flights to wherever. I don't mind, as long as it's with you. 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 Next year will be close. I will wait as long as it's with you. I could be the one you talk to when you're feeling down. I could be the one you run to when the moon hits the ground. I can say what I'm feeling, but the words just don't come out. If you ever feeling lonely, girl, just know I'll come around. Cause I've traveled so far just to get to where you are. And I know that you're broken, but that makes you who you are. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. I know what you're feeling, I see that look in your eyes. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. Cause what I've been dreaming
I love the fact that we get like bin with these almost like love letters to Zeus throughout his
Yeah.
interviews, being like, hey, look, we're going to make this work. It's all fine. Look, we'll face off against each other. Even when you look back at MSI last year, it was them trying to fight off against each other.
It's true. Okay, we're gonna do one last check-in with your pick'ems. I hope you've been doing okay.
No.
You've been doing bad?
Mine are destroyed.
They're not good.
Yeah.
No? Why are they not
Mine
good?
are awful.
So
Why not?
So the Leona Death Fund, I thought was going to be a lot better than it was. It's
I
still
thought the
second.
Nautilus. I thought it was the Nautilus Death Fund.
Yeah.
It's the standard, but
Yeah,
that's
Bernie
the
Rel's just
classic.
take it over.
Okay.
I also was really hoping for Chemtech Dragons, but it was a very fiery world thus far, with Infernal pulling pretty far ahead.
Yeah, I do love me an Infernal Dragon.
They are one of the most fun.
It is. Okay, here. Hey, Medline's got something! Fastest game versus Gam.
And it was a win, rather than being on the other side, you know? Which is the most important part.
Yeah, thank the stars that it was a win.
I'm looking at, we're going to talk about this later, but most unique champions, Knight there with 12. He's been pulling out a lot of stuff for BLG, kind of quietly under the radar too, that BLG have picked such a variety of champions.
I also got to highlight that Flyfest, even though they didn't have game, I think still had an incredible performance this Worlds, and actually the second unique champions played, which was so impressive against them.
That was awesome to see them play. Of course, remember to lock in your by 8 WS and head into a little bit more rounded discussion, I want to say, about these teams. We have an hour, but I feel like it isn't enough to talk about all of the journeys that we have. Rob, now that we have you here, an LPL fan for so long already, talk to me about BLG and about their evolution.
But I think that's the incredible part, because when you look at this organization, this is the iteration that when they started, expected to go to this. When you look back at what happened like several years previously, so many different megastars, super teams that they tried to put together throughout the years, and you'll see them rapidly bring it to the moment. But when you look at players like, they tried to set up an naming through in their first initial year, which really was them trying to go, hey, look, bring the big heavy hitters into the squad and see if we can make it work during 2021. But as they moved on, they were like, okay, look, this hasn't really brought us any sort of success. So instead, we're going to bring in players like Fofo, who was one of the most outstanding mid laners in the LPL at the time. Uzi coming in as well, adding a world champion in Chris to say, hey, our bot lane is going to dominate and take over. But again, it was that lack of success that they found. And it was really when they go, okay, you know what? We're not going to spend the mega bucks. We're not going to invest in these super teams anymore. We're going to take this up-and-coming talent. When you get the likes of Bin, when you get Shun, Yagao, well, Yagao was around for a little bit longer, but Elkin on. But the most important part was they invested in a serious coach. They invested in Tabe, a guy who was just coming off the back of back-to-back MSI wins with RNG to say, hey, I'm going to take this group of players and misfits to really rise up. And then we finally get to what was the last little bit of success they needed in Knight being added this year. The man who denied them so often in the LPL last year joined this roster, and suddenly this team has found the most success that they've ever found in the organization's history.
And that moment from Tabe last year at MSI when he jumped towards his team as they won was the start, I think, of their current arc.
Yeah, and the most impressive thing to me is how, again, you pointed out, this initial iteration of the lineup, the first go of it, was supposed to be a budget lineup compared to what they'd done previously, right? And we even saw like a little bit of uncertainty from BLG at the very beginning of this tournament. They struggled in Swiss stage, and that happened in summer. They brought in Wei, that helped things. Then they brought back Shun, and he's looked great with the team.
But I wanted to like show you what they were working with when BLG initially formed, because I brought in some old clips from Sunni when both Bin and On were on, and I just want to show you the bedlam that Tabe had to deal with this team.
Let's take a look indeed. I've heard rumors.
没事，来得及，来得及，来得及。推塔，推塔，推塔，推塔，来得及，来得及吗？来得及吗？哎呀，来不及啊，来不及啊！能推，能推，能推，能推，能推。没闪，没闪，没闪。完了，五杀，五杀，杀了，杀了，这边推一下，推一下，推一下。没事，陈哲斌。没办法呀，陈明。没事，他在我肚子里已经是死人了，没办法呀，陈明。没事 ，VR Team。
想要对一直担心的粉丝们说的话呢？
觉得粉丝们其实没什么好担心的吧，就是如果我们打得不好，那也没办法；如果打得好的话，那我们就开心就行了。
They're definitely entertaining, I'll tell you that, for sure.
I mean, this is coming off the back of their 2020 finals.
Yeah.
This is what you have to work. It's bedlam, and I love it.
It's crazy, yeah. So many stories there also. You know, Bin making it in 2020 with Suning. Now he is back here. BLG is only one half of the two teams we're going to see today. Let's just pull up the brackets of how Worlds has gone from the Swiss stage to the knockout stage, because particularly for BLG, we already mentioned it, slow start, really ramping up into that knockout stage.
Yeah, and by contrast, it was T1 who looked really shaky domestically in summer, then have ramped up throughout this tournament. BLG were lights out domestically this summer. They were phenomenal, undisputably the best team in China, and then came here, had a really shaky Swiss stage, now have been raising through the bracket stage.
And for BLG, that series against Home Alive, that game 4 is something a lot of people are going to go back to. And it contrasts so strongly to T1, whose story was, and I feel like we keep repeating ourselves, but every summer, T1 has some horrible situation where they almost don't make it. They go to game 5 against KT. They don't actually end up beating DK, who for the first time in forever get a win against someone that was considered stronger than them. And yet, here we are in the World Finals again.
Third consecutive World Final for T1. Maybe the 5th title for Faker. These are all things that we're going to dive much deeper into in just a little bit. We are going to take a quick break right now, but we will be back very, very soon with the rest of Countdown.
So, you want to work in esports? Great. Step 1, never spell it like that. Better.
Step 2, apply to the MasterCard Gamer Academy, a program created in partnership with G2 designed to give you all the tools and resources needed to help you start a career in esports.
This is an education in everything, from creating content to managing a team.
All from experts who will explain every aspect of running a top-tier org, prepping for a broadcast, or designing global esports events for millions of fans.
Selected participants will have access to live lectures and insights you won't find anywhere else.
And even the opportunity to travel to the League of Legends Mid-Season Invitational and Valorant Champions.
So they're flying them out to champs?
Yep.
Thank you, MasterCard.
So if you've ever dreamed of a life working in esports, this could be your opportunity to apply for an unforgettable experience.
Can anyone apply?
No, you can't apply.
with my hands tied. Start up the riot. Start a riot. Start a riot. La la la, feel it ignited. Light it up, light it up. Light it up, it's going down. We gonna burn it to the ground. So rah, start up the riot. It's about to get ugly out here. This is who I am. You ain't gonna.
And welcome back. I'm Laure, joined by Global Head of League of Legends Esports, Chris Greeley, and Executive Producer for League of Legends, Paul Bellezza.
Hey.
Thank you very much for joining me, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good.
What do you think of the arena? What do you think of
This
the
is
desk? It's the first time you come here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The arena looks so good.
I think everyone is really, really hyped about today. We had an amazing opening ceremony ahead of us, but I want to ask you guys, these worlds have been amazing, but what has been the highlight for you? Best moment so far?
Oh my God! I mean, there's just been some nail biter games. They've been like pretty cool to rewatch some of the highlights, and just I really enjoyed the FlyQuest games.
Of course,
I have to, but I just love the competition. It's been sick.
I love the matchup we're winding up with at the end. I think if you sat down at the start of Worlds and said like, what are the two teams you wanted to see, this is definitely on the short list of matchups, which has been awesome.
And I know that the fans have been enjoying Worlds as well, and this is something that we've seen through viewership and the amount of people who connected to watch League.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take a minute to talk about the passion of League fans.
Of course.
Right? Worlds 24 is now one of the most watched events in League of Legends history. Our average minute audience outside of China through semifinals is up 30% year over year. And the incredible T1 match versus Gen G reached 4.81 million viewers. It's truly amazing.
I think it's crazy that after all this time of League of Legends and esports, we have more and more people tuning in and even more people watching League of Legends. Keeps the game interesting. And of course, we've been blessed with amazing world so far. I have to ask you, I think everyone is going to be hyped for the opening and closing ceremony. So have you seen anything, or are we just going to... Okay.
I'm going in blind.
So you're going to discover as fans, just like us, anything we want to be hyped about. We know which artists are going to be headlining, but anything you want to see for the opening ceremony, anything you're expecting here?
So I cheat a little bit. I know that there's some great choreography and lots of dancing. So I think that's going to be great, like to be able to see those shots. I think the ceremony is going to be awesome.
A bit of Linkin Park, a bit of Arcane, maybe.
Yeah.
Paul, what are you excited about?
I'm excited to see the Arcane moment.
All right.
To paint the Town Blue song. Maybe are we gonna get fireworks?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
That'd be pretty sick.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's not spill the beans. Yes, I know that for the closing ceremony, we're going to honor the players and the champions even outside of the O2 arena. So how is that going to work?
Okay, so we'll be continuing our tradition of celebrating the World's Championship on the Rift by placing the Summoners Cup complete with the winning team's logo right on the Rift. So, but we are going to do things a little different. So next year with patch 15.2, we're introducing some special features. We're going to give a championship icon and an emote, and we'll be shipping the Summoners Cup to the winners region. So the champions will start their season with the cup on the display during their opening week of competitive play. And we think that's a fitting way to celebrate their victory and kick off the new season with the entire community.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. They'll even get to make some content while they have the Summoners Cup there and like really be able to connect with their fans in region.
Stay tuned for this in-game and outside of the game, of course. But following up on the press conference we had yesterday, if some of you guys at home couldn't quite follow what happened, we had news about international events for next year and the future of LoL Esports, Chris.
Yeah, 2025 is going to look a little different for LoL Esports in a lot of ways, and we couldn't be more excited for it.
All right, what are we expecting here? I think I heard some Fearless Draft coming here.
Yeah, we're going to implement Fearless Draft for our new international tournament, which we're naming the First Stand Tournament. It's going to be all about champion diversity, making strategies on the fly. That tournament will be in March 10th through the 16th at LoL Park in Seoul, Korea, and we'll be using Fearless Draft throughout all of Split 1 next year.
There you go. There you go. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, man. Hype as hell, right? Yeah.
Anything about MSI that we want to talk about?
Yeah, well, we'll have more to share about MSI at the start of our competitive season when we do that round of announcements. But I can say we're finally going back to Canada after a really long hiatus, so it'll be awesome to be able to bring our event back there.
Super excited.
Yeah. As for Worlds, we do have a little treat for you all. Take a look. The panda at the end.
I love it.
That's me.
So
yeah,
cute.
so good. So we're really proud to return to Chengdu next year. The incredible atmosphere, the passionate fan base, the outstanding hospitality we received during MSI 2024 made Chengdu an ideal location for our next World Finals.
Super excited, but that's a story for next year. Guys, we have a finals on our hands starting in actually about 20, 30 minutes here. What is the expectation? How many games do we want?
I want 5 games. I want silver
Yeah,
scrapes.
I'm here for the day. I want to make sure everybody gets their money's worth.
5 games, that's all we want. Guys, thank you so much, Chris Paul, for joining me
Thanks,
today.
Thank
I want to hear what the fans think actually on the floor. Hysterics, what are they thinking for the MasterCard fan prediction? T1 or BLG?
Yeah, thank you, Law. I am indeed on the floor of the O2. London, where are you? Good. And they're still packing in as well. So who you supporting? Let's go T1. There we go, T1 fans alike. But of course we need some balance. Who are you guys supporting?
BLG!
Like I said, this is not even all of them as well. There's still plenty of seats to be filled. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to be with you here today in such a great, glorious arena. Hold those signs up. Let them know who you're here to support. London, T1 fans unite, where are you? What a glorious year to get to this position, right? To get here, they almost lost to KT. And then we go back and we look at BLG. Overdefined, what are they? BLG fans, rise up! Shocks, the floor is heating up and I cannot wait to see as it fills up and we get into this exciting finals. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Excuse me, 80% T1 as we take a look at the player arrivals presented by Mercedes-Benz. But Maurits, what the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm not even surprised anymore. This is the reality of going up against T1. This team has the home ground advantage no matter where they go. It took Gen G like 4 years to get even remotely close to a 50-50. There are just so many people so passionate about this team that, again, we've seen this a million times.
And you can see the players here arriving in the Mercedes-Benz arrival there. And T1, they are massive fan favorites, of course, but they've also looked spectacular at Worlds.
Oh my God, it's Faker!
Which is really lending to that effect. And this man as well, he's got to add 50% to that fan vote alone.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, crazy. I did think it was going to be closer in terms of what the people think, but you're right. T1 really is a global phenomenon, as we also welcome another global phenomenon to the desk.
Well, you know.
Hey, thank
Faker,
you for
both world
joining
champs,
us.
you know.
Hey, there's so much to talk about, and I think I want to start us off right. Knight versus Faker. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about Faker, but I want to start out by doing some telestrators here on Knight. This guy is outstanding. If you have not watched him play, we're going to highlight how he plays on the flank here against HLE. So he's already stolen the Ahri ultimate here, and he's going to be playing on the side. What he's going to do is constantly stay close enough that HLE have to respect his threat, but far enough away that they can't easily engage on him. So we're going to see Delight look for a quick engage over to the side. Knight is going to get hit by that remount on the flip, but then he'll use his E to actually dodge out of the stun. You can see Viper was already moving to try to collapse on him, but the engage has failed. He still stays close enough, re-engages on Delight, putting that pressure in, and then as the fight begins to break out in earnest, he's gonna move in, draw pressure from Peanut, from Viper, from Zeka, and then use the Ahri ult to break the tether, and as Doran comes over the wall, he uses the same E that he used to break the tether to go back in on Doran, kill him off, and then chase down HLE, keeping them slowed, keeping them in a spot where the rest of the team can constantly run after them and knock them down. I'm now going to go to another clip here. Now this one is truly outstanding. This is a clip against G2, which really was a bit of a backbreaker here, and we have to watch Knight here. He's over here on the side. This is a situation where they are down numbers. Knight is able to go in. They get this initial kill onto Yike, but he's going to get CC'd up. He uses the Stolen Sin Zhao ultimate to tank a lot of this damage, and you're going to watch him as he goes to retreat from this losing fight. Hans is coming in. Watch this. The stun is going to come through from Broken Blade right here. He buffers the Renekton stun with his E over the wall, negating the stun. Otherwise, he would have died. Not only that, as Hans Sama kites up, Knight is going to find the angle to go right back in over the wall, kills off Hans, even dropping his Q so that Mickey can't kite up, picks him off as well, and then is kiting out on Broken Blade, uses the stun into the ulti, waiting for his cooldowns here, and as Broken Blade goes in for another re-engage, it's again a buffered stun here from Knight, goes back, immunes the stun, gets him with the knockup on the E, kites it out, wins the fight. This guy is truly next level with his mechanics.
And I know I've been talking to you about Knight for years, Azael. You used to follow his Syndra for like a lot of your Lane Kingdom.
What else can he play?
He can play a lot because, like we mentioned at the top of show, he has played the most unique champions of any player at this tournament. And I think the true evolution of Knight was a lot of the internal rivalry he had in the LPL with Yagao coming in from the same region. Yagao was the one who saw the map better. Knight was the mechanical god, and he's been forced to now he teamfights and sees the map so well.
And it would be his time to take that world championship, but unfortunately there's Faker on the other side. Let me just ask you, is Knight better than Faker mechanically?
I think absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's fair to say.
Champion pool-wise? Depth?
That's always hard to say
now?
with Faker. Right now, in this tournament,
yes,
I would say so.
So why is it that we still have that unbridled trust in the man himself?
I'm so glad you asked, because let's return to 2023 when Faker was the mechanical god. This is his first kill. Ambition,
2013.
Ambition said it himself, 2013. Everyone will always remember his first kill. Ambition was on the receiving end of it. Here is him against Kuro. He made this man's life miserable. Everyone thought Kuro was a terrible mid laner just because he had to go up against Faker so many times. And then this is him on the Galio. He was such a star dragging this team to finals. I think the true impressive thing about Faker is how many times he has had to reinvent himself, right? He comes in as a mechanical god. He then evolves to be able to teach his junglers how to seize the map. Easy Hoon comes in playing Azir better than him. Guess what? Next year, he learns how to play the best Azir in the world. Like, it's insane how many times he's reinvented himself now to the point where we saw T1 last year without Faker.
That's why he's the GOAT.
How did it go?
Yeah, I think everyone can remember. It did not go very well because this team relies on him. And it's really easy to say, you know, just
he's
try
the GOAT.
to, yeah, well, he's the GOAT. Try to figure out a way to improve yourself. But there are so few players in the, 14 years of League of Legends that we've had so far that actually have been able to do it consistently because it requires so much energy while still maintaining that form year after year, except, I guess, for summer, where
Oh,
they
it's okay.
take it a little bit
Don't
easier.
worry about that. But yeah, it's true. It would be reductive to just say, oh, he's the GOAT. Yeah, everybody knows that. It's about those intricacies of how he does keep evolving. We made a little collage for T1 and for Faker as well. It's beautiful. A lot of the moments. You guys can grab it. I think we have it full screen as well.
Oh.
I also have all these, which I love.
It's a reflection of their jacket too, right? If you've seen the inside of the T1 jacket, it has like a whole bunch of really famous
all the memories.
Faker and T1 moments.
I mean, it's just so cool because it's not just some of the most famous T1 or Faker moments. These are some of the most famous moments in esports, period, in League of Legends, period. They have been there for all the history.
They have, Azael, and you almost have to step outside of the scope of just League of Legends, right?
I think you do. When you're talking about Faker specifically, everyone knows he's the GOAT. It's not even a conversation. You can cut the guy's career in half, and he is still the GOAT. And that's why I think you have to start looking broader than the game. You have to start comparing him to the sporting greats from other games, from other esports, to really understand how dominant he has been, what he has done in the space. He has been a transformative force for the game. He is the face of the game. And I think he needs to start being talked about amongst the best athletes in the entire world.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought it up to look outside of the scope of League of Legends, because actually, Son from Tottenham, or Sonny, that's his nickname, he sent a message to the finalists.
Hi guys, this is Sonny, and yeah, sorry I couldn't be there because I have a game also, but I wish you, both of you, BLG and T1, good luck for the final. Everybody is very proud of you guys. Being in the final is amazing, but last step is always the important part. So yeah, good luck again and enjoy the final stage.
That is so awesome. He mains Lee Sin, by the way, if anyone was interested.
Okay.
Plays a lot of League.
Nice.
Plays a lot of League. Oh, this is so cool. And it just shows how much League esports transcends just our community. It's great to see. But diving a bit deeper into the story of T1 then, because in the same vein as just saying Faker is the greatest of all time and not emphasizing the intricacies of the career, the same thing goes for T1, right? It's not the same T1 that won in 2013 or the one that even won last year.
Yeah, or the one that we had a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because I want to show something. Apologies to the KT fans in advance. I want to go back to regional
Every
qualifier.
time it's like a knife, bro.
Because it really is. I'm so sorry, but we have to do this. As we run this clip, I want you to look at how disjointed this team looks. So Keria, he's about to set up a pick on BDD. Or this is the Yone. This is the one target you need to kill. And now I want you guys to count how many ultimates get wasted because of the anti-synergy. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4 ultimates that get thrown into BDD.
He sucks.
No one is on the same page, right? And the reason why we highlight this is because of where they are now. The fight is a complete wash. T1 end up barely edging out this series.
KT.
What a flex to run it down on your world skin, by the way.
That's the most insane
You get a
part.
pass when it's your world skin.
And then contrast that to the series they had against TAS, and Karia's performance in particular is sitting here on the flank, but was spotted, right? So what TS tries to do is get him out of there. They try to collapse onto him. He gets the sidestep. That alone is already insane. But here, dodges the chains, charms the first two, then flashes, follows up, denies Jakilov access to the pit, immediately forces 369 his Zhonya's, and from that point on, this fight is impossible. The immediate collapse from the rest of T1. The fight is broken. The game is done. And again, this is in a month and a half. And I really wanted to highlight this because we keep talking about, oh, T1 in summer, they weren't that good. It wasn't just the meta. This was not the same team that we have in front of us here today.
Yeah, and it makes their glow up at Worlds so much more impressive, right? Because of that, because they were able to pull together. Yes, the meta is better for them, but to your point, they look so well coordinated.
And I think that's something that is just so special about this T1 team as a whole, and not even just this year, right? Because it'd be reductive to just talk about them and only talk about their successes. This is a team that, you know, now today people talk about them as Iron Mental. They are the most clutch team in the world, maybe the best roster of all time. You only have to go back a couple of years to people saying, you know what? Maybe they just can't do it. Maybe they're never going to win an MSI. Maybe they're never going to win a Worlds. They fell short in so many tournaments in a row. You know, MSI 2023, Worlds 2023, the MSI in 2024 even, you know, they had all these different events where, you know, they were falling short and not getting right to where they wanted to be.
I mean, there was a joke about how we couldn't mention finals because we didn't want to curse T1, right? Because they kept falling just short of winning finals.
And often with teams like this, it is about when is the dam gonna break. And I think at T1 we were at a point after that lost final 2 years ago where you saw them just completely distraught into the year after where they finally made it happen. Now you're in a situation where again they rallied all the way there. It's unbelievable. It's almost a movie script the way they turned it around and came here. But the same thing can very well go for BLG because this is a roster that is built to win championships, right? But they need to get over that one hurdle. Unfortunately, that hurdle today is Faker and T1.
It's a pretty big hurdle.
Yeah, it's kind of up there for sure. No, absolutely. Let's do our final check-in on the global power rankings by AWS for 2024 and also take a look at who the teams went through to get here.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a pretty incredible journey for both teams. You can talk about the Swiss stage. Obviously, BLG did have their struggles, but at the same time, when it came time to the knockout stage, when it came time for the best of fives, they're taking down HLE, the #1 LCK seed. They're taking down Weibo. You look over at T1, and they had to beat so many star-studded rosters. They had to take down BLG in the Swiss, G2 in the Swiss, Top, as well as Gen G. All of these tournament favorites have really been knocked out by T1 and by BLG.
I think it's been absolutely incredible to see the caliber of teams that they've had to go up against, and now to showcase that at a one last step is going to be absolutely insane to see these two teams face off.
Hey, you swapped in. What's going on?
No, that was Chronicler's voice.
Was it? In fact, I think
suddenly became Irish.
Yeah.
He's been working on it.
All 5 of us are going to be on in just a second as we find ourselves with a little bit more time. But I feel like we talked a lot about T1 and Faker. Naturally so, right? But their competitors deserve so much time as well. And I think the ideal people to kick it over to for a little bit more insight into BLG are Lore and Wendy, who are standing by in the Verizon Game Day interview.
Thank you so much, Shox, and what a journey it's been for BLG at Worlds and all year, actually. Wendy, thank you so much for joining me to talk about your team. What can we make of BLG? Because they're the last hope for the LPL, but they're also the best hope for the LPL, considering the fact that they entered Worlds as tournament favorites. When you think of the year they had in the LPL and how they developed at Worlds with the team they faced off against, what stands out for you when you think of this team?
Yeah, I definitely think like BLG is not only the hope for themselves, it's definitely the hope for the whole LPL. And LPL, we haven't got the World Championship for the past 2 years. So I constantly, we really have a very strong feeling that we really would like to have this year's title. And definitely for this BLG, these rosters, they were able to get the championship in LPL for both the spring and also the summer. Basically, that's the strongest roster right now for LPL. And definitely we can see, like, maybe from the Swiss stage, they will look a little bit like underperformed, I must say. They got some fluctuations, up and downs. But after that, they were really able to have a very quick adaptation and be able to really showcase all the talents in the quarterfinals and the semifinal, the 3-1 against Hanwha Esports and also 3-0 against another LPL bro, WBG. So it's time to see how much talent they can show us here in London.
Yeah, time to shine. And I remember that Elk was actually talking to us about the fact that Swiss stage is always going to be a bit difficult because of best of ones, because of the format, but you really can't expect a team like BLG to shine when it's going to come to series, and especially long series. And I have to talk about what Bin told us when we interviewed him in Paris, the fact that he had memories from the first time he made World Finals. It was against Damwon back then, and he got inspired by what Showmaker said back then, the fact that he wants to restore hope for the LPL. He wants to restore the honor of the LPL. What does it mean for them, for Bin, for BLG, for all these players, if they could grab the victory today?
It definitely could be a really meaningful title for the whole LPL, especially for Bin, because 4 years ago, he was also standing in the grand final stage and got the pentakill. We all remember that player. And 4 years later, for now, I must say, Bin really got his growth, his improvements. And for now, we can see through the whole journey, he kind of really like sharpened the sword. And he really have the very aggressive play style. And also, he showed a lot of respect to Zeus, to Faker, to the whole T1. And because of that respect, definitely he's going to just try his best to showcase all the talents here.
And he's a different beast. He's been saying it himself. He gained in maturity. He became even stronger over the years. And also, we know that he wanted this match today. He wanted to face off against T1. He wants to be able to defeat the world champions, the one who won last year, and it's going to be an interesting matchup, especially when you consider the fact that T1 versus LPL, that's a matchup that they usually like. So what do we think about the rivalry between these two regions as a representative of the region, but also for the fans?
I must say, LPL is always the biggest opponent for all the LPL teams. And also, based on the past 2 years' record, we got 8 times victory in the best of 5s against all the LCK teams. And 6 out of 8 is actually from BLG. And the other 2 is from Knight together with last year's JDG. So who's the team that's going to maybe have the biggest hope to beat such a strong team? T1, I must say, could be this year's BLG. And especially, it feels like 10 years ago, the LPL has tried their best to get the title from T1, from Faker. And 10 years later, we're still facing this GOAT.
Oh my God, it doesn't get more hype than this. Wendy, do you have any closing thoughts about this matchup?
Definitely really looking forward to this grand final. And I must say, for all the BLG fans, for all the LPL fans, we like to just hope BLG, they can just show all the talents here, just to show their strengths here, but still, enjoy the game, enjoy the show. This is your stage, and no matter what happened, you're just the best team. And BLG, let's go!
Jayo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wendy. Shocks, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jayo BLG, indeed. Wow, she dropped some great quotes there about this rivalry, right? Because this is such a through line for this entire day about the LPL versus the LCK specifically.
Yeah, and I think a huge portion of that is, again, as you say, the revenge arc as well. But for BLG, they haven't lost a playoff series against T1 when you look across MSI and that. So there's a huge amount of these rivalries that are starting to grow and starting to beckon. And you heard it like Knight last year as well, trying to take down the LCK teams. I think there are many players here that are trying to show that 5 LPL players can really step up on the international stage and show what Chinese League of Legends is all about.
Yeah, knowing how big League of Legends is in China, how many fans there are, and I think very, very often, because we're just so surrounded by a lot of T1 because they have such global fandom and referencing, but of course you have some trouble sometimes seeing things, right? If they are produced in China or the content or Weibo whilst we're on other social media forms. But let me tell you, it is huge. I mean, I will always remember that moment when EDG won Worlds, and there was this famous clip of the dorm rooms and everybody cheering. I think we have it somewhere, but I might have called it up a little bit too quickly. We'll take a look in just a second. Just to say, all of China is watching.
I mean, some of the LPL players are some of the absolute biggest stars, you know, not just in League of Legends, in the entire country. You can see the celebrations after EDG won. It was electric. There was videos like this coming from all across the country.
And it's even when you look at like popularity votes within the country itself, like the #1 voted celebrity against music, against actors, against everyone was Uzi. Like this is a cultural phenomenon that has taken over, and why the LPL produces such talent year in, year out.
And the same year that Uzi was actually voted #1, it wasn't like it was just Uzi because, well, he's Uzi. But there was 11 LPL players in the top 50 as far as, you know, against celebrities, against the musicians, against movie stars, against everyone in China. It really is a national sport.
It is, and you talk so much about Uzi. Let's talk about Elk. He's playing today, and I know that, Emily, you've been following his career so intently, right? So do you want to give us the cliff notes?
So I feel like this is really his breakout on the international stage. This is last year at MSI, these Jinx compositions. I just want like people to watch his positioning in these fights and his spacing. He's so good, and the way the team set up for his Jinx in a lot of these fights was absolutely phenomenal. And again, I want to reiterate something that Rob brought up earlier as we take a look at one of his Ezreal highlights, one of his many Ezreal highlights.
No, not this
one! from the Swiss stage. I want to reiterate, he came on as part of a budget roster. He was coming off a really down year with Ultra Prime on WE. He had been this AD carry who was a bit volatile, definitely had the mechanics, was recognized for it as Rookie of the Split, but it was the consistency across a year that really helped. Like, did you believe Joe Mung would be here?
Madness
as
at the limit testing was real.
Carries in the world.
I mean, one of my favorite things about Worlds is how it can make you a star overnight. You know, not that players didn't know him. But when you come to the international stage and when you have these insane moments, these insane performances, the Ezreal, his Kai'Sa outplay by Baron as well, all of a sudden, the entire world knows your name. The entire world is excited, waiting for you to have another moment like that.
And both Afia and me were on the receiving end of that, right?
Yeah.
Getting absolutely demolished. And it's really important to note, like, you look at those plays and they look really cool, but those were make or break moments in those games. If he doesn't do that, if he oversteps, if he ends up getting taken down by G2, if he doesn't find that Kai'Sa outplay where he dodges the chains at the very end of that game 4 between Hanwha and BLG, the series might have looked completely different.
Yeah, since we ended up with a little bit more time, the observant eye may have seen our clock jump ahead just a little bit or jump a bit, get a bit wider. What do I mean?
Jump behind. We have more time. We got
more time. Okay.
More time.
Because we originally didn't have time to talk about everything, but now that we talk about Elk, we got to talk about Guma just a little bit. I mean, the croissant moment went